Hi guys, it's Toddy here from Rekombu and I am checking out the HTC One M9 which the company just unveiled at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Now in my left hand I have the HTC One M8. This is the phone that launched last year just after MWC 2014, and as you can see there's a lot of similarity. There should be, these guys share a lot of the same DNA naturally. So first and foremost we'll talk about the design. Now the One M8 and the One M7 both had a very distinct look. They both rocked a full metal body. The M7 was a very hard edge device, and the M8, as you can see here, has this beautiful curved effect. So it curves round, fits in the hand really nicely. With the One M9, they've kind of blended the two design ideals together. So you get these hard edges and this beautifully smooth back. It feels great in the hand, and this hairline pattern, which also the One M8 has, looks fantastic. It's like a very light brush effect. Whilst on the backs, however, the biggest difference is the camera, and not just the shape of the bezel around the lens itself. We now have a single sensor rather than the duo sensor. So the M8 on my left features a duo camera design. That is a 4 ultra-pixel main sensor at the bottom and a secondary camera which helps with things like depth up the top. Now the M9 meanwhile packs a single 20 megapixel sensor, so it's a huge bump in resolution, but it does away with the second camera. The second camera was for depth, and now I think it's something that HTC has decided it can do without. The camera is arguably one of the most dividing features on these devices, but the ultra-pixel technology isn't completely lost. On the front now, the M8 has I believe it's a 5 megapixel standard camera, whereas the M9 now rocks a 4 ultra-pixel sensor, just like the one on the back of the M8. So the M8 technology lives on the front of the M9. Speaking of the front, you'll also notice the speaker grills. Both phones pack HTC's boom sound technology. Both pack really good internal speakers, particularly for smartphones. The difference with the M9 is that it now boasts Dolby technology as well. So it's got some Dolby software tweaks in there, and it also has the ability to talk to Harman Kardon speakers, something that the M8 doesn't have built in. Now if we dip into the UI, so both are running Android Lollipop now. The M8 launched on, I believe it was Jelly Bean, then received an update to KitKat, and now it's running Lollipop, whilst the M9 launches on Lollipop, both of which also pack HTC's customized UI, it's Sense. Now we have Sense 6 running on the M8 and Sense 7, I believe it is, running on the M9. Now, to look at, they look and feel very, very similar. They're both very snappy. They both feature Blink Feed, which is like an aggregated news feed on the left, and both just kind of, they actually almost feel as slick as they both feel as slick as each other too. The difference is that this widget here is a new feature that HTC is bringing in, which you don't get on the M8. So the M8, you just arrange your home screens as you want to arrange them. The apps stay there, they stay put. You can rearrange this app drawer as well if you want, which you can do on the M9 too. But this particular section here will actually adapt depending on the time of day and the location. So it will actively change the applications that line up here, depending on whether you're at work, whether you're at home, or whether you're on your commute, for example. So you might get a tube app, or the calendar application and the mail application will be replaced by games when you're at home, or a TV remote application. By the way, both of these also have IR blasters in the top, so you can control your TV from the device without the need for a separate remote, which is really handy. So that is a big difference between the operating systems and the user experiences. The other big thing is themes. You could change the theme. There is a level, if I just dip into the settings menu here, there is the personalized menu, which lets you tweak things like home screen layouts and wallpapers, and there is a themes option as well. But it's really just changing maybe some colors and some wallpapers. The themes chooser on the M9 is a much more robust experience. So on the M9, you can actually choose from some pre-created themes by HTC, which change the fonts, the colors, the applications. So say you have a very kind of grey or black and white look to your wallpapers, you can have the iconography and the text to match that. You can also create your own custom themes and share them with the HTC server so other users can get access to them, something that just doesn't exist on the M8's interface. Beyond that, we also have some beefier hardware. So the M8 ran, at the time, one of the top Snapdragon processors, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 801, a quad-core chip with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage. With the M9, you get the brand new 64-bit Snapdragon 810 octa-core chip and 3 gigabytes of RAM plus 32 gigabytes of internal storage, both of which also pack 100 gigabytes of Dropbox cloud storage for 2 years. So these things are both packed, but the M9 packs beefier hardware, so you should get faster response from general operability and when you're coming to do things like more intensive 3D gaming and some fancy camera features too. The cameras themselves, the UI is pretty similar. You can actually download additional features on the M9. There's things like bokeh, which you don't actually have access to on the M8's camera. And aside from that, you still get photo booth and split capture, and the company will know to add more features down the line, just as they did with the One M8. Aside from that, to look at, they're basically the same size. You have a 5-inch Full HD display on both, so that's the same. The only other difference is the power button has moved down from the top of the phone. It's no longer plastic, it's now metal on the side, and it feels better. And aside from that, yeah, that's really it. These are the two devices side by side. You can see the M8's a tad bigger, but dimensions are almost identical. That is the HTC One M9 versus the M8 in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just drop us a line down below, and don't forget to check out recombo.com for more great content from MWC and on the HTC One M9. Thank you for watching.